Good after Good afternoon, everyone. My name is William Ceballos Reales. Today, I'm going to share with you some information upon an interesting topic, which is emotional intelligence. In order to show you a well-structured presentation, I have divided the content in three main questions. The first one is, what is emotional intelligence? The second one, which are its main components? And the third one, why is emotional intelligence important to the educational field? Before going ahead with this presentation, I would like to invite you to reflect upon these Epictetus words. The quote says, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. Interesting words. Why, what Epictetus tries to teach us is that we must control our reactions when facing external situations or external influences. But how can we control those reactions? Well, it is only possible when we develop our emotional intelligence. But what is emotional intelligence about? To answer this question, we have to distinguish two notions about intelligence. The first notion stress that intelligence is the capacity to reason upon information, about information. It is related to learning and memorizing. Nevertheless, current studies have proved that success success does not depend on how much information a student is able to memorize. As a result of that, a new conception about intelligence emerged during the last 2 decades, and it is known as emotional intelligence, which describes the ability to assess and manage the emotion of oneself, others, and a group. One of the well-known authors who has written a considerable amount of articles and books about emotional intelligence is Daniel Goleman. He is an American psychologist and journalist, and two of his masterpieces are Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, published in 1995, and Working with Emotional Intelligence, published in 1998. Daniel Goleman claims that emotional intelligence helps us to understand ourselves as well as understand other people and use using that knowledge to establish well-balanced relationships. Daniel Goleman has proposed a model of emotional intelligence based on three subcompetences. These competences are self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness. Now, let's explain in details these competences. The first competence is self-awareness. It refers to the ability of identifying our own emotions and use them to take wisely decisions. It involves two sub-competences or two sub-skills, which are emotional self-awareness and self-confidence. The second subcompetence of the emotional intelligence is self-management. According to Daniel Goleman, self-management refers to the capacity of controlling our own emotions and use them to keep motivated to achieve our personal goals. It involves two competences or skills, which are self-control and adaptability. The, the third subcompetence of the emotional intelligence is social awareness. It refers to the ability to understand other people, recognize other people's emotions, and use that knowledge to establish well balanced relationships. It is also based into uh, some skills which are empathy and service orientation. Well, before studying these elements of the emotional intelligence and its components, it is necessary to reflect upon the pedagogical implications that the emotional intelligence has upon the educational field. I have identified two um, implications, which are the first, to train students holistically, and the second, to encourage well-balanced relationships at school. The first uh, pedagogical implication means that instead of training learners to memorize information, the educational process must educate the students to identify their own emotions and understand themselves. Based on that knowledge, students can also understand other people and establish uh, well-balanced relationships, which is also the cycle implication. And it aims to establish a good atmosphere at school that prevents bullying or other kind of uh, mistreat. Thank you for your attention. I hope you have learned meaningful knowledge from this presentation, and here you can find a reference in which this presentation was based. Thank you so much.